August 20th, 2025 turned into a major news day for the Chicago Bears and their fans. A potential NFC North power shift was narrowly avoided after reports surfaced that the Green Bay Packers made an aggressive trade offer for Dallas Cowboys' superstar edge rusher Micah Parsons, and the Cowboys rejected it. According to multiple NFL insiders, the Packers offered a massive package: two first-round picks, one second-round pick, one fifth-round pick in any normal situation. An offer like this would be hard for any franchise to refuse. But Dallas stood firm, unwilling to part with their 26-year-old defensive superstar. For Bears fans, this was huge relief. Adding Parsons to Green Bay's defense would have instantly changed the competitive balance of the NFC North. Parsons is one of the most dominant defensive players in the NFL, and his impact is undeniable. Parsons by the numbers since entering the league as the 12th overall pick in 2021. Parsons has been nothing short of elite. Four multiplied Pro Bowler in 4 seasons, 52.2 career sacks averaging 10 plus per season, 112 QB hits, 63 tackles for loss, 256 total tackles. He's a one-man wrecking crew, capable of taking over games and creating mismatches against even the best offensive lines. For the Chicago Bears, however, Parsons in Green Bay would have been a nightmare scenario, especially given Chicago's offensive line situation. As of now, the Bears' left tackle rotation is still taking shape, and putting an unproven starter up against Parsons twice per season would have been a major risk. But avoiding Parsons isn't just about matchups, it's also about financial flexibility. According to reports, Parsons is seeking a 5-year, $200 plus million extension, which would make him the highest paid defensive player in NFL history. That would mean annual salaries of $40 minus $46 million, locking up enormous cap space for years. The Bears have worked tirelessly under GM Ryan Poles to dig themselves out of past salary cap nightmares. Fans still remember the Khalil Mack trade in 2018, an electrifying move in the short term, but one that created financial challenges and slowed roster development for years. Chicago isn't interested in repeating that mistake. With Caleb Williams now leading the offense and future extensions needed for rising stars like Darnell Wright, Tariq Stevenson, and Jaquan Brisker, spending almost half the salary cap on one defensive player simply doesn't fit the team's long-term vision. In short, Dallas saying no to Green Bay gave Chicago a major win, not just for 2025, but for the future of the NFC North. Trey Hendrickson, the ideal target for Chicago's pass rush with Parsons off the table. The Chicago Bears still have an opportunity to significantly upgrade their defense by pursuing Trey Hendrickson of the Cincinnati Bengals. According to league insiders, the Bengals are open to trade discussions for the 30-year-old edge rusher. Unlike Parsons, Hendrickson comes at a reasonable price. Reports suggest Cincinnati is asking for one young defensive player, a 2026 first-round pick. This is a far more attainable deal for Chicago and perfectly aligns with their roster-building strategy. Why Hendrickson fits? Chicago's plans. Hendrickson isn't just productive, he's a proven game-changer. Standing at 6'4" and 265 pounds, he brings size, speed, and relentless energy off the edge. His career stats speak for themselves. 4 multiplied Pro Bowler, 77 total tackles, 72 tackles for loss averaging 10 per season, 155 QB hits, back-to-back 17.5 sack seasons. Including leading the NFL in sacks in 2024. One major advantage for Chicago is Hendrickson's connection to Bears defensive coordinator Dennis Allen, who coached him during his early years with the New Orleans Saints. Allen helped shape Hendrickson into a dominant pass rusher, and reuniting them could unlock even more production. Upgrading Chicago's edge group. Currently, Chicago's defensive edge rotation features Montez Sweat, DeMarcus Walker, Austin Booker, Dominique Robinson, Daniel Hardy. This group has shown flashes of potential but lacks a consistent second elite rusher to complement Sweat. Adding Hendrickson would immediately change that dynamic, giving Chicago one of the strongest defensive fronts in the NFC. Financially, Hendrickson also makes sense. He's expected to seek a 3-year, $90 million contract, a significant investment, but far less risky than Parsons' $200 million plus deal. Importantly, the Bears currently have the cap flexibility to absorb Hendrickson's deal while still building around Caleb Williams and the rest of the young core. Before we continue with the latest Chicago Bears updates, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and hit the bell icon. Stay locked in for breaking news, trade updates, and in-depth Bears analysis. Let's move on to the next big story. Building for the future, a new era in Chicago. The Chicago Bears are entering the 2025 season with a clear plan. Build smart, stay patient, and compete for the long haul. Instead of chasing splashy, high-risk trades, GM Ryan Poles has committed to developing talent through the draft, making targeted free agent signings, and keeping the roster flexible for future growth. Why the Bears' strategy is working. The front office has focused on 3 key principles. 1. Build through the draft. Developing players like Caleb Williams, Austin Booker, and Tariq Stevenson ensures sustained success without overspending. 2. Maintain financial flexibility. By avoiding massive contracts like Parsons, Chicago keeps room to pay its core stars in the coming years. 3. Make calculated trades. Acquiring Hendrickson would be a strategic move without mortgaging the future. If Chicago pulls off a deal for Hendrickson, their defensive front could be one of the most dangerous in the NFL, featuring Sweat, Hendrickson, Walker, and Booker. That's a nightmare for opposing quarterbacks, especially in a division featuring high-powered offenses like Detroit and Minnesota. Offense and defense in harmony. While the defensive upgrades grab headlines, the Bears are equally focused on protecting their rookie franchise quarterback, Caleb Williams. Avoiding Parsons in Green Bay is critical here. It buys the offensive line more time to develop chemistry without facing one of the league's most feared pass rushers twice a year. This balanced approach, building a disruptive defense while nurturing an explosive young offense, sets the Bears up not just for success in 2025, but for sustained competitiveness for years to come. Final thoughts. The Chicago Bears have quietly positioned themselves as one of the smartest, most forward-thinking franchises in the NFC. By avoiding the financial and roster risks of a Micah Parsons-type trade and instead focusing on a more attainable star like Trey Hendrickson, the Bears are protecting their future while improving their present. GM Ryan Poles' disciplined strategy gives Chicago flexibility, depth, and stability, 3 traits that championship teams are built on. With Caleb Williams developing, the defense improving, and financial health intact, the Bears are building a foundation that could reshape the NFC North for years to come. The message is clear. This is not the same Chicago Bears. This is a franchise ready to contend on their terms. Bear down, Chicago. The future starts now.